Forward for Elgin, a 5'9" senior, number 23, Melissa Parker. At forward for Stevenson, a 6-foot senior, number 12, Kaja Catchings. At the other forward for Elgin, a 5'9" junior, 43, Tina Wenkaitis.
Thursday night at the Fieldhouse, the Lady Maroons won another regional championship, their 5th in a row, as they bested a very stubborn St. Charles team by a final tally of 71-63. Foul trouble by the Maroons star twosome of Melissa Parker and Leslie Schock helped St. Charles have a lead at one point of 24-21 in the first half. But led by Susie Smith, Tina Wenkaitis, and Carissa Turek, the Maroons took a 3-point halftime lead, and they stretched that lead in the second half to as much as 20. The regional opened on Monday night for Elgin, and the Jones Intercable cameras were there. The challenge wasn't expected to come on Monday night, and it didn't, as the Lady Maroons rolled past Hoffman Estates for their 56th consecutive home court win. This victory by 33 points. Number 23, 5'9" senior Melissa Parker ran the show and scored 26 points and had 8 assists to set the single-season assist mark for Elgin High School. Number 43, Tina Wenkaitis, was next in the scoring column with 14 points. And senior number 25, Leslie Schock, who's headed to Northwestern, added 12 points while getting in foul trouble early in the contest. The game, the next to the last, played here at the Fieldhouse for the seniors, no matter what, since next week's sectional games are being played at Larkin, was once again a chance to enjoy the Parker to Schock combo. These two have helped Elgin win 106 games over the last 4 years, and that number is still counting. The image of winning by this team forever in the minds of their fans. But after 2 Sweet 16 appearances, the team's mission is to be one of the Elite 8 teams at the state finals in Bloomington.
Well, I think our kids have felt all along they've had high goals, and they're ready for. I think they're ready for the challenge ahead, and yeah, certainly we'll be disappointed if we don't get downstate and do well. So I mean, that's not a joke. That's not anything that we're serious right now. Yes.
What you've been pointing to for 4 years. So this is, if you knew you'd win it, this is some of the best moments of your life.
Yeah, I'd like to know right now how's it all going to end up, but you know, our kids have to stay focused one at a time, and there's not going to be any easy games. The team we played today, Hoffman came out, played hard, and they certainly couldn't match up with us, but they played really hard. I give them a lot of credit. They didn't quit. And I think that's going to be the case a lot of teams are going to play. So we got to make sure that we're always ready.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on us. We know it's basically an old cliche, but it's now or never, and we all want it to be now.
After Thursday night's regional championship win over St. Charles, now continues for the Lady Maroons next Monday at Larkin High School. Last week we showed you the highlights of the Lady Maroons Regional Championship. This week the intensity level went up and the scene switched to Larkin High School as they played host to 4 teams: Elgin, Hersey, Fremd, and Buffalo Grove. The format for a sectional championship was to win first on Monday night, then on Thursday night. As simple as that is, and as complicated as that, for Lee Turek's number 1 seeded team. This free throw by Tina Wenkaitis would make it 54-49 Elgin with just over 2 minutes remaining. After a free throw would make it 54-50, this second chance basket by Hersey made it 54-52. Then a big steal by Carissa Turek would bring the basketball back to the Elgin side of the court. After nearly losing the basketball, Elgin would call a timeout with 59 seconds remaining. Let's just watch the next 20 seconds of play. Another good defensive job by Carissa Turek, and with the arrow pointing on the jump ball towards Elgin, Melissa Parker would go into her dribbling act and get fouled with 12 seconds remaining. Now, after another timeout, and remembering the score is 54-52 with 12 seconds remaining, Elgin leading, watch this walk to the free throw line for Parker, who put the game away.
The second free throw was good to make it 56-52. Then Hersey would bring up court, miss a shot, and Melissa Parker was fouled again. She would make an additional free throw and give herself 30 points for the game and a 57-52 win.
Your feelings when Melissa makes the two free throws and stretches the lead?
Well, that's big. That's big. And, you know, again, we haven't been stretched to 4 quarters too many times this year to play. And she showed she could play it. And a lot of our kids had to, you know, I'll tell you, the 7 kids that got on the floor today for us, if each and every one of those kids doesn't do their part one way or another, because, I mean, I could point down the line all the big plays everybody made, you know, we're not the winning team. So it takes that kind of an effort. And that's why I'm proud of our kids.
I talk a lot about the pressure and the strenuousness of it, but it's great fun. I mean, there's no better feeling than winning a big ball game or having a house packed like it was tonight, and just having the whole crowd behind you. When that final buzzer goes off and you're the team winning, there's not really a greater feeling than that rush of excitement.
The game featured 3 All-Staters who played on the same summer team. Of course, Schock and Parker of Elgin and Abby Willenborg of Hersey. Monday night's late game was won by Buffalo Grove over Frem 49-43, and that set the stage for Thursday night's championship. Number 1 Elgin against number 2 Buffalo Grove. And for Thursday night's championship game, here's how it looked as the starting 5 was announced for the Lady Maroons in front of a full house. And this contest proved to be so good, it was only fitting it would go overtime. At times in the first half, it looked like the Maroons might run away and hide. This three-pointer by Melissa Parker would give the Maroons a 9-point lead, and they would stretch it to as much as 13, but Buffalo Grove would come back. And with Dad watching, and to no one's surprise, Leslie Schock had a great night, scoring 29 points. And the lead was built back up to 50-42 in the second half. But just when you thought it was safe to begin to celebrate, Buffalo Grove came back. Suddenly, the game was knotted at 50 apiece. But that's when Schock and the Maroons would once again answer the test. It was 57-56 Elgin with 21 seconds remaining, but Melissa Parker would turn it over, and Buffalo Grove would miss these shots, but still have 2 free throws. They would make 1 of 2 Tanisha Brewer would to knot it up at 57 and force an overtime. Buffalo Grove, after this three-pointer, actually led 60-59 in overtime. But these 2 baskets, one by Leslie Schock and another at just over 1 minute remaining by Carly Kirkpatrick. 6'1" senior was off the bench after Anna Halleck fouled out. Would push the Maroons to victory, and the final count would be 69-60 in overtime.
Sectional flag, and congratulations and good luck in the Super Sectionals.
Lady Maroon fans were all smiles, as for the 3rd consecutive year, Elgin was a Sweet 16 team. Super Sectional time next Monday at Palatine. The opponent, Naperville North.
It's finally happened. After 3 years of getting to the Sweet 16, the Elgin Lady Maroons have advanced to the Elite 8 of the state. To do so, they won Monday night Super Sectional played in Palatine. The previous 2 years, the season had stopped on that Monday night. Elgin accomplished what no other Lady Maroon team has ever done, to set foot on the court for a state quarterfinal game, and perhaps even more. It seems like the whole town has rallied behind this group that includes 2 All-Staters and a 16-year coach who graduated from Elgin High School.
In the starting lineup introductions, the Lady Maroons seemed confident and ready for their 3rd consecutive Super Sectional, but the first played close to home. Naperville North from the DuPage Valley Conference opponent. They were led by the All-State guard number 30, T.J. Williams. North, with a second quarter run of 11 points in a row, actually had a halftime advantage of 21-17 as the Maroons' Melissa Parker was held to just 2 points. But the huge Elgin crowd would see the Lady Maroons take the lead in the 3rd quarter and never look back. Parker would end up the contest with 21 points, and Leslie Schock would contribute 17 points and 13 rebounds. Susie Smith would add 9 points, and Tina Wedkindis, not feeling 100%, did a good defensive job on T.J. Williams, holding her to 18 points. And as the game wound down, that magic moment, a Super Sectional championship and a trip to the state finals and the Elite 8 would sink in for this Lady Maroon team of 95-6. And even after the slow first half, Lee Turek knew his kids would come through.
You know, I had a good feeling about it. They're very apt to turn the ball over under some pressure, and they did, and they didn't take care of it. I think we wanted to do more full court in the second half because we knew we could cause some turnovers, and that did.
And just how does it feel to finally attain that impossible dream of going downstate?
It's indescribable. It's, the best feeling in the world, and I don't know, you can't even describe in words how awesome a feeling it is to finally get to the point we want to be.
And the point where you want to be for Melissa also included the heady responsibility of signing autographs for admiring fans on this Monday night. We move ahead to Thursday as this T-shirt was shown to the world for the first time by staff member Jim Hawkins at a pep assembly attracting 2,800 students, faculty, and other staff members, wishing the Lady Maroons well in their trip downstate this weekend. Lee Turek would say a few words to the crowd. The famous EHS drum line performed, as did the cheerleaders and the pom-pom squad as well. Students seemed to get a big kick out of what was called the kitchen cheerleaders as they showed their maroon pride. And then the lights were lowered, and for one final time, the Fieldhouse fans could see everyone connected with this year's Lady Maroon team as they were introduced for that final time, including seniors Melissa Parker and Leslie Shock. And just like that, it was time to go and to wish the Lady Maroons good luck at the state finals down at the Redburn Arena at Illinois State University this weekend.
All of Elgin has been following the efforts of the Lady Maroons over the past several weeks. You know by now it was the dream of the coaches, staff, team, and fans to get to the state finals at Illinois State University. And you know by now that dream was achieved with a championship game appearance on Saturday, March 2nd. Lady Maroon coach Lee Turek will be here in the studios of Jones Cable with us in just a few minutes to tell us his story of that trip to ISU. Before we do, let's take a final look at how Elgin advanced through regional, sectional, and super sectional play.
The first game of the regionals at Elgin's Fieldhouse saw the Lady Maroons knock off Hoffman Estates on Monday, February 12th, as the Parker-Shock combination led the way, and the Maroons won by more than 30 points. The Thursday regional championship game against UEC foe St. Charles was a 71-63 final. The contest was not as close as the score would indicate, as the Lady Maroons led by as many as 20 points in the fourth quarter. The next week, the sectional games were played across town at Larkin High School and produced two thrillers. On Monday, February 19th, a very tough Hershey team stayed close, and Elgin led by only 2, when Melissa Parker, taking time off the clock with her dribbling routine, was fouled with 12 seconds remaining. The senior calmly went to the free throw line and made 2 free throws to seal this victory and a 57-52 final. The Thursday night game was even closer. Even after the Lady Maroons had a lead by 13 early, it was tied at 57 at the end of regulation play. In fact, this turnover by Melissa Parker in the final seconds and the ensuing foul could have given Buffalo Grove, the opponent on this night, the victory, but they made only 1 of 2 free throws and sent it into OT. After this 3 by Buffalo Grove, it was 60-59, the Maroons down by 1. But these 2 key baskets, one from Leslie Shock and the other from senior Carly Kirkpatrick, would set the stage for a 69-60 victory and a sectional championship at Larkin High School for the Lady Maroons. Coach Turek accepted congratulations from well-wishers, but no doubt his mind already was on the super sectional. And at that super sectional in Palatine on Monday, February 26th, the gym would be full of Maroon fans. But Elgin would struggle in the first half and trailed 21-17 to Naperville North at halftime, as Shock had only 6 points and Parker but 2. But in the second half, good defense would lead to an improved offense, and the Lady Maroons would take the lead in the third quarter and stretch it out to a 58-42 victory. And history was made on this night, as this Lady Maroon team would become the first in EHS history to be an Elite 8 team. And on the final leap day of the century, February 29th, 1996, a first as 2,800 students and others gathered at a pep assembly at Elgin High School to wish the Maroons well in their venture downstate at the finals at Illinois State University. And the Maroons, in their quest to get to the championship game, would not let their fans down, beating Marshall on Friday in the quarterfinal game and upended Morris on Saturday to set the stage for the AA championship game. Number 1 rated Stevenson against number 2 rated Elgin. The Maroons and Melissa Parker would score first in the championship game, and these back-to-back baskets by Leslie Schock would give Elgin a 9-6 lead in the first stanza. They would still lead early in the second quarter by a count of 11-8, but this game would be dominated by Taja Catchings and Katie Coleman of Stevenson. And Elgin, after trailing only by 2 at the half, 24-22, would have trouble scoring in the third and fourth quarter and lose in this championship game by a final tally of 50-35. But although there were some tears, it was still a great moment to be given a medallion and that second-place trophy on the floor of the state finals at Illinois State University. We move ahead to Sunday afternoon, March 3rd, 1996. A fire truck escort to the field house for the Lady Maroons, and fans are waiting to applaud their heroes one more time as Elgin's quest for state, a season to remember, draws to a close.
And that was that special moment, of course, that took place on the Sunday when all of Elgin again turning out to greet you, Lee Turek. Congratulations, Lee. Let me shake your hand. Have you got that medallion anywhere? Have you got that tucked away?
Actually, we've got it at school yet.
All right, well, that's
pictures
good.
later.
And that wonderful trophy as well. Well, what a great time. We brought you into the studio here of Jones Intercable to tell us about that trip downstate, starting with the quarterfinal game, the victory on a Friday afternoon it would be against Marshall. Tell me a little bit about that game in your mind.
Well, again, we've never had a team downstate before, so certainly my concern was how are you going to play first time on the floor in Bloomington and at Illinois State, and our kids were very focused, very calm, and I felt they played like they were at Elgin High School on their home floor. I thought they were very relaxed, and consequently, we did the things that we had practiced, and we did a real fine job, I thought, against Marshall, and that set the tone, I think, for us in the state tournament.
Was it difficult? And then the next game, of course, would be against Morris. Was it difficult? The kids, were they always in the hotel room? How did you keep them fresh?
Actually, we were prepared to have them go anywhere they had to go as far as for relaxation. They wanted to be together, and we stayed, other than going out to eat and our practice on Thursday at Illinois Wesleyan, the kids were in the hotel and enjoying themselves and relaxing that manner and preparing themselves for a game. So they were as focused as I could imagine. I was really, really proud of them.
So just the gymnasium and just the hotel room is what they've been, and having some meals, of course. Wanted to salute the fans because this was a record-breaking time at Illinois State University. 43,061, I believe the final stat was. I'm going to say Elgin and Galesburg brought the most. Is that true?
I would guess. I know Galesburg brought a lot of people, but the kids were thrilled at all the Elgin people that came down there to support us. That was great.
Yeah, the great kids there, the E on the head and then the basketball in the maroon color, so that was fun. Well, take us to the championship game. What did you say to the kids? Well, let's turn it back to that Saturday, March 2nd, and we're approaching the championship game, number 1 against number 2, Stevenson the opponent. Well, what's your final words to the troops before you go out there?
Well, I think enough had been said about that game, something that I think a lot of people wanted, especially from Stevenson and Elgin, and I think a lot of the other people that really follow basketball. But as far as being ready for the game, that was never a concern. I told the kids, however, that this is the first game that we probably played all year that we're not the favorite, and just go out and play hard, have some fun, and whatever happens, the chips fall as they may. So obviously my words weren't the magic words to get a win across, but at the same time, I think the kids played real hard, and I think they did Elgin proud.
No question about it. We saw the game on Sports Channel, heard the game, of course, on WRMN Radio. We had some highlights prior to your conversation here. You've got that lead. Leslie Schock had a wonderful game, 19 points, 9 rebounds, I believe, and you're leading 11-8, and then Stevenson hits a 3 at that point, but it was still only 24-22 at the half. What adjustments did Stevenson make in your mind?
Well, Stevenson tried to make us a little bit uncomfortable and making a few changes in their defenses. And their eventual big change was putting Catchings on Parker, and I thought that was a big factor in the second half. But I think our kids, it was one of these type of games where we're shooting for a season in the 500 range, and we shot a very low percentage, missed a lot of shots. I think that was very key in this game. But I think nerves were certainly a factor a little bit for both teams. And this game is very much different than the other games in the state tournament with TV.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It's a whole different atmosphere at that time.
Yeah.
But again, that didn't affect you at all. And as we talked, when we talked several weeks ago, if you knew exactly how things would turn out, what a marvelous year it would be. So you got to the championship game, and most wins for a Maroon team. No one's ever been down the state before. I mean, you accomplished everything.
Well,
shy of that, the bigger trophy.
Like I say, there were only 2 teams playing in that last ball game at 8:15, 8:30 at night, and we were one of them. We were proud to be there. We were proud to have the Elgin support, and we hope we made Elgin proud. And like I say, shy of that last win, yeah, we're real happy about what happened.
No question about that. And all of Elgin, you know, stores would put up "Go Maroons" on their signs, and the pep assembly on the 29th, sending you down there was wonderful. Every student there, 2,800 folks, students. Then on Sunday, with always that short notice of coming back, they were there for you as well. We could talk all night, Lee. Congratulations. You did the Elgin proud, and the Lady Maroons did all of the school in proud. Well,
thank you very much.
Indeed, it is.
Jeff.
Next year, I might have some eligibility. You think I could?
We could use some size next year. You might be able to fit in the lineup somewhere.
I could ride the bench.
Well, we might be able to find a place for you.
All right, Lee Turek, again, congratulations, and
thank you, Jeff.
Give our best to the kids.
Thanks a lot.
We'll continue with more right after this.
And that's been our look at the girls' quest for state. A season to remember. The memories of this Lady Maroons team forever with their fans. We thank you for joining us here at Jones Intercable, and it's been our delight to cover the Maroons throughout this 95-96 season. We're going to take one final look as we close to the Super Sectional celebration in Palatine. And also, perhaps you were there, the gathering that took place on the Sunday after the state tournament when the Maroons came home with their hardware.